Spaceballs, 1987, made the world laugh with its legendary parody mayhem. But what happened to the cast 38 years after the spotlight faded? Behind the laughter was a tapestry of heartbreak, untimely deaths, and unexpected rebirths. From family tragedies that shattered lives to courageous personal transformations, the real-life stories of the stars who brought this sci-fi comedy masterpiece to life are filled with drama, pain, and hope. Let's uncover the fates of the iconic actors behind Spaceballs, where every on-screen laugh hid a secret off-screen sorrow. Rick Morannis as Dark Helmet. Rick Morannis, born April 18, 1953, played Lord Dark Helmet, the pint-sized but power-hungry leader of the Spaceballs, infamous for his oversized helmet that blocked his vision. At 34, he brought to life this pitch-perfect parody of Darth Vader, a villain who barks orders but is constantly undone by his own absurd technology, like when he accidentally zaps his own men with a laser. The role captured Morannis's signature wit and manic energy, making Dark Helmet an enduring icon of sci-fi satire. Morannis was a comedy powerhouse of the 1980s, stealing scenes as the lovable nerd Louis Tully in Ghostbusters, 1984, a role that helped the film rack up over $295 million worldwide. He kept the laughs coming in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, 1989, where his turn as the bumbling inventor Dad Wayne Selinsky brought in $222 million globally. Though he never chased awards, Morannis's comedic versatility made him a defining figure in family-friendly cinema, but the spotlight couldn't shield him from heartbreak. In 1991, his wife Ann Belsky died of breast cancer at just 35, leaving Morannis a widowed father of 2. The loss changed everything. By 1997, he quietly stepped away from Hollywood to focus on raising his children, turning down high-profile roles and choosing a private life in Toronto. His rare appearances since then have mostly been voice roles, like in Brother Bear, 2003. As of 2025, at age 72, Rick Morannis still leads a low-key life, focused on music projects and family. For him, Hollywood was just a chapter, one he closed with grace, leaving behind a legacy of laughs and heart. John Candy as Barf. John Candy, born October 31, 1950, became Barf, the half-man, half-dog sidekick of Lone Star in Spaceballs, 1987. At 37, he brought a beloved character to life, fiercely loyal, quick-witted, and always ready to throw himself into danger or mischief, whether it meant crashing a ship or saving the day. Candy's natural charm and boundless energy made Barf an unforgettable part of the film's soul. He was one of the 1980s most beloved comedic actors, capturing hearts as the relentlessly cheerful Del Griffith in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, 1987, a performance that earned a Golden Globe nomination. He followed it up with Uncle Buck, 1989, where his chaotic but lovable uncle became a family classic. Candy had a rare gift. He could make audiences laugh and cry within the same scene. But behind the booming laughter was a man in pain. Candy battled serious weight issues, chain smoking, and the crushing demands of fame. Friends and family worried as his health deteriorated under his grueling work pace. On March 4, 1994, while filming in Mexico, Candy died suddenly of a heart attack. He was only 43. His death stunned the world and left a void in comedy that's never truly been filled. John Hurt as John Hurt, cameo. John Hurt, born January 22, 1940, made a self-referential cameo in Spaceballs, 1987, playing himself as a diner patron at Space Stop 5, only to relive the infamous chest-bursting scene from Alien. At 47, Hurt delivered one of the funniest cameos in film history. A blink-and-you'll-miss-it moment that paid tribute to his own terrifying legacy with a humorous twist that made audiences roar. A giant of British cinema, Hurt moved audiences with his haunting portrayal of Joseph Merrick in The Elephant Man, 1980, earning Oscar and BAFTA nominations. He stunned again as Winston Smith in 1984, capturing the soul-crushing weight of a dystopian regime. With a career spanning over 6 decades, Hurt effortlessly navigated tragedy and comedy alike. But his personal life was marked by turbulence. 4 marriages ended in heartbreak, each leaving its own emotional toll. Years of alcohol abuse ravaged his health, leading to liver and heart complications. In 2015, he was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He fought bravely, but the disease won. John Hurt died on January 25, 2017, at the age of 77, leaving behind a cinematic legacy and a void in the acting world. Daphne Zuniga as Princess Vespa. Daphne Zuniga, born October 28, 1962, portrayed Princess Vespa, the spoiled yet spirited royal of planet Druidia, in Spaceballs, 1987. At just 24, she crafted a Vespa who evolved from pampered heiress to blaster-wielding heroine, standing shoulder to shoulder with Lone Star. Her performance blended sass, vulnerability, and strength, making her the heart of the film's emotional arc. Zuniga found further fame as Jo Reynolds on Melrose Place, 1992 to 1996, where she played an ambitious photographer navigating love and ambition in 90s Los Angeles. She also starred in the romantic comedy The Sure Thing, 1985, opposite John Cusack, a sleeper hit that grossed over $18 million and showcased her range. Though she never chased the awards circuit, critics praised her balance of comedic timing and dramatic depth. Off-screen, Zuniga faced her share of emotional struggles. Her 6-year marriage to David Malechko ended in 1998, prompting a personal reset. A committed environmentalist, she co-founded the Earth Communications Office in 1989, but juggling activism and acting took its toll. Burnout, loneliness, and self-doubt haunted her through the 2000s, forcing her to reevaluate her path. By 2025, at age 62, Zuniga remains active in television, recently appearing on NCIS 2023, and has found stability in her second marriage to David Yong, whom she wed in 2017. Though Spaceballs launched her into the pop culture galaxy, it was the hard-won battles off-screen that forged her resilience. Brenda Strong as Nurse Gretchen. Brenda Strong, born March 25, 1960, stepped into the role of Nurse Gretchen, the flirtatious yet sly assistant to Dr. Schlottkin during Princess Vespa's cosmetic surgery scene in Spaceballs, 1987. At age 27, she brought to life a minor but unforgettable character, oozing confidence and playful sarcasm as she worked the surgical controls with a mischievous grin. Her performance added a burst of charm and energy, hinting at a promising future in television and film. Strong later became a household name as the mysterious narrator Mary Alice Young in Desperate Housewives, 2004 to 2012, earning an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Voiceover Performance in 2011. She also made her mark on Sports Night, 1998 to 2000, as the savvy and sharp-tongued Sally Sasser, helping the critically acclaimed series collect multiple awards. With her ability to shift between acting and voice work, Strong carved out a niche as a dynamic and versatile artist. However, her personal life faced turbulent turns. After 22 years of marriage, her relationship with Tom Henry ended in 2011, a painful split that left her grappling with loneliness and uncertainty about her future. The pressure of maintaining a public image in Hollywood while juggling motherhood pushed her to the edge. To heal, she turned to yoga and meditation, using them as tools for emotional recovery and self-empowerment. By 2025, at age 65, Strong remains active and creative, appearing in 13 Reasons Why, 2020, writing books on women's empowerment, and running a production company with her second husband, John Farmanesh Baca. Though Nurse Gretchen was just a small role, Brenda Strong's life story reflects the enduring strength that comes from reinvention. Michael Winslow as radar technician. Michael Winslow, born September 6, 1958, portrayed the radar technician aboard Spaceball 1, a sound effects genius whose ears could detect trouble before anyone else. At 29, he delivered a scene-stealing performance using only his voice, imitating machinery, alarms, and even musical tones with uncanny precision. This role was a perfect showcase for Winslow's famed title, the Man of 10,000 Sound Effects. Winslow had already become a comedy legend as Officer Larval Jones in the Police Academy franchise, 1984 to 1994, where his vocal talents stole the show across 7 films that grossed over $500 million worldwide. He also lent his voice to the mischievous creatures in Gremlins, 1984, contributing to another box office hit that topped $153 million. Though never the recipient of major awards, Winslow's unique skill set made him irreplaceable in the world of comedy. Yet, his personal journey was anything but smooth. After the collapse of his second marriage to Angela Baytops in 2001, Winslow was left struggling financially while raising his children alone. As Hollywood's spotlight faded, he turned to live stand-up comedy to support his family. The grueling tour schedules and fierce competition drained him, and Winslow has spoken openly about the inner battles he fought to keep his passion alive. In 2025, now 66, Winslow continues to perform at comedy shows and special events, preserving his incredible vocal talent even as fame has waned. His brief but unforgettable appearance as the radar technician stands as proof of a rare ability, and his story is one of resilience through personal storms. Dick Van Patten as King Roland. Dick Van Patten, born December 9, 1928, played King Roland, the dignified yet warm-hearted ruler of Druidia, in Spaceballs, 1987. At age 59, he portrayed a doting father willing to bend every royal rule to save his daughter Vespa, bringing tenderness and subtle humor to a film filled with zany characters. His grounded performance gave the movie an emotional anchor amid the chaos. Van Patten was already beloved for his role as Tom Bradford on 8 is Enough, 1977 to 1981, a father of 8 children, mirroring his own life as a real-life dad to 3 sons. He also made memorable appearances in films like Westworld, 1973, contributing to the early success of the sci-fi genre. In 2005, he received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Screen Actors Guild for his enduring impact on television. But his later years were marked by a quiet battle with diabetes. The illness weakened his body and led to repeated hospitalizations, slowly chipping away at his health. Despite the support of loved ones, Van Patten endured mounting physical struggles as the disease progressed. Dick Van Patten passed away on June 23, 2015, at the age of 86 in Los Angeles. He left behind a legacy of warmth, gentle humor, and family values, both on screen and off. Mel Brooks as President Scroob/Yogurt. Mel Brooks, born June 28, 1926, played both President Scroob and Yogurt in Spaceballs, 1987, 2 wildly different roles that showcased his range. Scroob was the bumbling, self-serving ruler of planet Spaceball, while Yogurt, a wise and cheeky parody of Yoda, mentored Lone Star with the iconic line, "May the Schwartz be with you." At 61, Brooks infused both characters with razor-sharp humor and boundless energy, reaffirming his brilliance as a writer, director, and performer. A comedy legend, Brooks had already changed the genre with Young Frankenstein, 1974, earning an Oscar nomination for Best Adapted Screenplay. He won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay for The Producers, 1967, a groundbreaking satire that turned into a cult classic despite its modest budget. With over 20 major awards, including Emmys and Tonys, Brooks became one of Hollywood's most decorated and beloved figures. But behind the laughter were private struggles. His first marriage to Florence Baum ended in 1962, leaving him in a period of deep loneliness. He later found lasting love with actress Anne Bancroft, only to endure devastating heartbreak when she died of uterine cancer in 2005. Professionally, the lukewarm reception to Spaceballs compared to his earlier hits left Brooks questioning his legacy. As of 2025, now 99, Mel Brooks remains a living icon. He released his memoir, All About Me, in 2021, and occasionally lends his voice to small projects. His dual role as Scroo and Yogurt may have seemed lighthearted, but it was a comedic gem in a career defined by resilience, loss, and unstoppable creativity. Bill Pullman as Lone Star. Bill Pullman, born December 17, 1953, brought Lone Star to life, a rogue pilot with a mysterious past and a reluctant hero's heart, in Spaceballs, 1987. At 33, he captured the charm and determination of a man tasked with rescuing Princess Vespa and battling Dark Helmet, all while discovering his own destiny. Pullman's Lone Star was both dashing and relatable, anchoring the absurd comedy with genuine warmth. Pullman later rocketed to fame as President Whitmore in Independence Day, 1996, delivering one of the most iconic speeches in movie history. The film grossed over $800 million globally and cemented his status as a leading man. He earned critical acclaim in The Sinner, 2017 to 2021, as troubled Detective Harry Ambrose, earning a Critics' Choice Award nomination and proving his dramatic range. But the road wasn't always smooth. Typecast in heroic or good guy roles, Pullman longed for more complex characters, sometimes questioning his artistic direction. Though his long-lasting marriage to dancer Tamara Hurwitz since 1987 and an estimated net worth of $18 million signaled stability, Pullman admitted to the stress of juggling family life with a demanding career. As of 2025, at 71, he continues to act in challenging roles, most recently in Dark Waters, 2019, and remains a steady presence in Hollywood. Spaceballs was a turning point, but Bill Pullman's real story is about quietly pushing boundaries in a high-pressure industry. George Weiner as Colonel Sanders. George Weiner, born October 20, 1945, portrayed Colonel Sanders, the sharp yet slightly uptight right-hand man to Dark Helmet in Spaceballs, 1987. At 41, Weiner brought to life a military officer who tries, often in vain, to keep order amidst his boss's lunacy, most memorably during the chaotic, ludicrous speed scene. His dry delivery and impeccable timing gave Sanders a subtle comedic edge. Weiner was already a familiar face thanks to his role as attorney Irwin Bernstein on Hill Street Blues, 1981 to 1987, a series that won 8 Emmys. He also appeared in Fletch, 1985, opposite Chevy Chase, where his role as Marvin Gillette highlighted his comedic instincts. With over 100 roles to his name, Weiner became one of Hollywood's most reliable character actors, even if he never claimed the spotlight. Still, a career built on supporting roles came with its own pressures. Often overshadowed by bigger names, Weiner worked tirelessly to stay relevant in an industry that rarely pauses for second-tier stars. Despite these challenges, his enduring marriage to Kathleen Weiner and a comfortable net worth of around $2 million reflected a stable, grounded life. In 2025, at age 79, Weiner continues acting in smaller projects, staying true to his craft. While Colonel Sanders wasn't a starring role, it remains a standout moment in a long career built on quiet perseverance. Salvis Guso as radio operator. Salvis Guso, born October 5, 1948, played the radio operator aboard Spaceball 1, a diligent crew member whose awkward mistake in dialing the wrong number leads to one of the film's funniest gags. At 39, Viscuso made a minor role memorable through subtle humor and authentic delivery, shining even in a short scene. Guso is best known for voicing Father Mulcahy in MASH, 1972 to 1983, bringing warmth and humanity to the beloved series, which earned 14 Emmy Awards. He also had a recurring role in Soap, 1977 to 1981, as Father Tim Flotsky, contributing to the show's offbeat comedic tone. His smooth voice and grounded acting style made him a dependable figure in television for over 2 decades. But like many voice actors, Guso faced an uphill climb when shifting from on-screen roles to off-camera work. The transition meant fewer high-profile opportunities and a quieter public presence. Though his marriage to Kristen Guso and an estimated net worth of $1 million indicated a peaceful personal life, he weathered the emotional strain of a career slowly narrowing. By 2025, at age 76, Guso lives quietly, occasionally returning to voice work when the right opportunity comes along. His stint as the radio operator in Spaceballs may be small, but his career is a testament to the art of adaptability in a fickle industry. Ronda Shear as Woman in Diner. Ronda Shear, born November 12, 1954, appeared as the smiling, ever-cheerful waitress at Space Stop 5 in Spaceballs, 1987. At age 33, she gave warmth and sparkle to a small but memorable role, lighting up the diner scene with friendly energy and a contagious grin. Her brief appearance perfectly reflected Shear's signature charm and vivacious screen presence. Shear went on to become a cult favorite as the host of USA Up All Night, 1989 to 1998, a late-night movie show that defined 90s camp culture and drew millions of viewers. She also had a recurring part in the beloved sitcom Happy Days, 1974 to 1984. Later, she reinvented herself as a successful entrepreneur, launching her own fashion line and building a net worth estimated at $10 million, all without chasing traditional accolades. Still, Shear faced challenges behind the glitz, the pressure to maintain a picture-perfect image, especially as a female host in a male-dominated media space, took its toll. While her long-lasting marriage to Van Fagen since 2001 reflects stability, she has spoken about the emotional work it took to balance career demands with personal well-being. As of 2025, at age 70, Shear remains active in business and television, embracing her ever-youthful energy. Her role in Spaceballs was just a blip, but her journey is one of continual reinvention, a woman who never stopped redefining herself. Sandy Hellberg as Dr. Schlottkin. Sandy Hellberg, born May 28, 1949, played Dr. Schlottkin, the unscrupulous cosmetic surgeon working for Dark Helmet in Spaceballs, 1987. At age 38, Hellberg gave the character a zany, mad scientist energy, delivering laughs with his wild-eyed performance during Vespa's botched surgery. It was a minor role, but one packed with his trademark humor. Hellberg had already made a name for himself in Mel Brooks's High Anxiety, 1977, playing an eccentric patient, and appeared in the cult classic This Is Spinal Tap, 1984. While never in the spotlight, he built a steady comedy career. He's also the father of The Big Bang Theory's Simon Hellberg, a torch passed to the next generation. Though his marriage to casting director Harriet Hellberg and a net worth of around $1 million suggest a quiet stability, Sandy faced his own frustrations working in the shadow of bigger names. Remaining in the game required grit, humility, and a love for the craft that didn't depend on fame. By 2025, now 76, Hellberg lives a low-key life, occasionally appearing in small projects. Dr. Schlottkin may have been a footnote, but Hellberg's story is one of quiet contribution, a performer who chose dedication over glory. Tom Dreesen as Mega Maid Guard. Tom Dreesen, born September 11, 1939, took on the role of the Mega Maid Guard, who gets hilariously knocked out with shaving cream in Spaceballs, 1987. At 48, he brought effortless comedic timing to the brief scene, delivering laughs through a single moment that radiated his veteran stage presence. Dreon is best known for opening over 500 shows for Frank Sinatra and appearing more than 60 times on The Tonight Show. In 2005, he received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the American Comedy Association. His portrayal of himself in The Rat Pack, 1998, was praised for its heartfelt authenticity, but staying relevant in a rapidly evolving comedy scene was no easy feat. Dreon had to constantly adapt while preserving his classic style. Though married to Mary Ellen Dreon and comfortably worth around $3 million, he has spoken candidly about the pressure of sustaining artistic passion amid burnout. Now 85 in 2025, Dreon continues performing and writing, still sharing behind-the-scenes tales from a legendary career. His blink and you'll miss it moment in Spaceballs is a footnote, but the bigger story is about resilience and the power of laughter. Tim Russ as Trooper. Tim Russ, born June 22, 1956, played a trooper under Colonel Sanders, tasked with tracking down Princess Vespa in Spaceballs, 1987. At age 31, he delivered a crisp performance, portraying the trooper with straight-faced seriousness that clashed hilariously with the absurdity around him. It was a subtle touch of humor that made his brief appearance stand out. Russ later became best known as Tuvok on Star Trek, Voyager, 1995 to 2001, adding depth to the Vulcan character in a role that helped the series earn 7 Emmys. He also appeared in Live Free or Die Hard, 2007, as an FBI agent, contributing to the film's $380 million box office success. A true Renaissance man, Russ is also a musician and director. However, managing careers in acting, music, and directing came with its own burdens. The juggling act demanded relentless effort, and Russ has spoken about the stress of navigating 3 creative worlds simultaneously. Still, his marriage to Eve Russ and a net worth of around $2 million suggest he found a personal equilibrium. By 2025, at 69, Russ continues to act, perform music, and direct, staying true to his many passions. His role in Spaceballs may have been fleeting, but his journey is about staying steady in the face of artistic uncertainty. Spaceballs wasn't just a movie, it was a time capsule, a wild cosmic ride that gave its cast and audience a reason to laugh. Yet behind every absurd helmet and one-liner was a real person, living out their own story. Some soared to stardom, others faded quietly, but all left a mark. Each actor wrote their own chapter in a life full of highs, heartbreaks, and hard-won peace. So which cast member do you remember the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from the stars. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. May the Schwartz be with you.